Hello everybody and welcome to this video. Today we're going to be looking at the Carenado 182 Quebec. Now, here we are today at Compton Abbas and we're just going to do a short circuit flight in the 182 just to see what our impressions are of it. So here we go. This is the 182. Let's have a look around it. First of all, the modeling of the actual exterior model seems very good and it supports Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 features. So we should be able to manipulate these, for example, to check for the elevators. We can remove the chocks, we can remove this. And generally the model looks very good. Carenado are quite good at doing the model. And I don't think this is a direct port from FSX in terms of the model. So this was in FSX. But this looks like they've done actually some work somewhere on the texturing. So I don't think it's a direct port is what my point is. They seem to be using the new kind of like PBR technology. They seem to be very good. There's a bit of flickering in the glass here. That's a Microsoft engine issue. I'm not going to look too much into that, but let's get in the cockpit and see what we think. Opening the door. So the texturing inside is pretty good. We can get quite close to this texture. You can see it's quite good. Like it's not bad. The textures are actually some of the best I've actually seen in a general aviation aircraft. Like you can see each individual thread, for example. So overall, visually, it's quite impressive, which is good. Now let's switch on the alternator. Let's switch on the battery, and let's see if any life is coming into the plane. So we can pop the fuel to both, and yeah, it's starting up now. That's quite realistic. You can hear the battery starting. I like that. Now, Carenado aren't known for their amazingly detailed system depth, so my expectations here are this is not going to be like up to the level of your A2A. Obviously, it's not priced at that either. It's quite reasonably priced, I believe. And where I see Carenado is if you want something maybe slightly better than a default aircraft, but you don't want to go too much into the system depth, then, you know, Carenado are pretty good in my opinion. So let's pop the mixture in and put the throttle in a tiny bit. Let's see if we can start it. So beacon. Let's open the door. I wonder if the window opened. Oh, the window does open. So yeah, annoying in Microsoft if you just want to open the door, it spits you out. But you need the window open to shout the whole clear prop. I think you'll hear FS Realistic also do that when we go over to here.
Clear.
You see, clear prop. Okay, now the lights on. Don't need the pitot heat on at the moment. Let's see if we can get it to start. That would be a good sign, right? Oh, there we go. She started straight up. And yeah, those engine sounds aren't bad. Let's hear it fully internally. That's not bad at all. Some nice sounds in this. Let's listen to the exterior sounds. So yeah, they have 3D sound set, which is good. A lot of planes don't have 3D sound sets, so that's quite nice. The plane is buffeting as well, but that's to do with FS Realistic more than anything. So let's just pull that back. We will pop the taxi light on, we'll put the pitot heat on. Now, I did notice these circuit breakers are clicking, but do they work? Let's try this. My guess is no. But let's have a look. So, we've put the landing light on, and let's have a look at the landing lights. So landing lights here. Now let's pop the circuit breaker, and they're still on. That is exactly what I expected. So these don't do anything. Nav lights, no. So that's a shame. Like they could easily add this logic, right? But they don't. So even though you can pop these, they do absolutely nothing. Worth knowing. Do any of the radios? No, none of them do anything. Okay. Well. That is the thing about Carenado. You won't get a lot of system depth. So something cool with Carenado. I haven't seen anyone do this yet. If you go to the tablet here, and then we go back here, and we go to more apps, there is this, and you can change the type of tablet you want. So if you have the TDS or the PMS, you can enable that. or you can use the default. One annoying thing is that every time you restart the aircraft, you have to select it again. It doesn't remember it. Bit annoying. Not sure if that is really fully to be blamed on Carenado or if that's just a limitation. I would always like to see a tablet with these, but hey, you know, it is what it is. Okay, so we're just going to put the flaps down. Nice flaps down. Very good. So this cabin air. Just checking all of this works really. That's a high voltage thing. All of this is normal. The oil pressures are like is fine. The clock here works, which is cool. So that's saving. Okay, so we're at Carenado. We are going to just do a very quick circuit, and we can see how she flies. So let's get her in the air, and then I'll let you know my impressions. Let's go back to the default view. Let's release the parking brake. Let's give her a little bit of welly. So she is moving, and see what the ground handling is like. So the ground handling, I can instantly tell, is the ground handling from Microsoft 2024 and from the sim update. I think it was 15 which added it in Microsoft 2020. So it's using the realistic ground handling. I can feel it with there feels like there's grip there, and on the grass you can actually see how it slowed down there. That's a cool feature of 2024. But you need to have that enabled. So not a lot of aircraft right now from 2020 support it, but notice how it slowed down because the texture changed. So that is something in 2024, and this aircraft seems to support that initially. So that's cool because there's not many aircraft which are natively using all of the 2024 features. So it's nice that this one is using all of those cool features. What is this? This is a light, right? Yeah, it's a light. Just curious. Okay, so let's go on to runway 8. So, let's turn around. There's no wind today. When I'm testing aircraft, I'm not using wind. I don't want to influence the performance of it with wind, so we'll see. Okay, so let's just do a few checks. Let's hold down the brake. So let's put the taxi and landing lights are already on. The strobe lights doesn't seem to exist. I don't know, there's probably a 182 link. I'm not going to look too much into that. So we have flaps. The flaps are like linear, like so you can move. There's not specific notches. Oh, sorry, this is the cow flaps. Sorry, so the cow flaps work, which is cool. But yeah, this is got your standard stuff. So this is pretty cool. So we're going to set the autopilot. We're going to try to set and see if this works. So let's put her on 1000. So you can just set 1000. I think it's 1800 as the circuit length here, and we're going to see how she takes off. So like I say, when aircraft are using the new like kind of physics with the like the ground grass is different. So if you drive a 2020 aircraft which doesn't have it, you don't feel the grass as much. So it's pretty cool in terms of handling. Hopefully as more aircraft get ported to 2024, they will have that feature. So let's run her up a little bit. So those engine sounds are nice. There's not much engine depth here, so I'm pretty sure we don't need to do the full run up. I mean, we could, but it's not going to do anything. You know, it's not going to fail on us. So let's release, and I can feel the grass instantly there. So we just get a bit of power. Try not to over RPM her. And ground handling feels quite nice. It feels quite solid because, again, it's using the 2024 physics, which is nice. So as we go there, there's 60 knots. And it's taking quite long because we're on grass. And there we go, straight up. It doesn't have a landing gear, this, but that's very smooth coming off. She feels quite nice so far coming up there, which is very nice. So as we go up here, we're going to do a slight turn, and we're going to hold it around about there. And we're going to continue going up. She's climbing quite well, over 1,000 feet per minute, which is quite nice. Nothing too bad. And we're just going to fly around this circuit as we kind of go up here. And then we're just kind of test. I can tell. Wait, let's check. Yeah, I think this is using the fluid dynamics that they added in Sim Update 15. Obviously, it's in 2024 by default, but again, it's a thing that developers have to enable for their aircraft. So I think Carenado have enabled it here. It feels like it's on. It feels like there is a fluid dynamics here, just how it's handling initially. So that's cool. And we're almost at 1,800. I didn't get an alert, but that might be because the autopilot is off. I don't know. Or it might be because I have to press this arm button. I don't really understand the autopilot system in here, but we're not going to use the autopilot. It does work. I have used it in a previous flight, but we're not going to worry about it too much for now. So we're now going to just start a left turn to enter downwind. And she turns quite nicely. I mean, this is 70 knots, so we're a little slow, but she feels quite nice. And we'll just straighten up again. So generally speaking, she feels nice. Like, I can trim this out, and she's gonna stay there pretty much. So yeah, like, it's pretty easy to fly, and that's the thing about Cessnas in real life, is they're pretty easy to fly. They're pretty predictable, and the flight model here feels pretty predictable. It doesn't feel like it's on rails. It does feel like there's some stuff in there, but yeah, it feels good. It feels pretty decent. So I just pull back slightly on the throttle now. So we're just kind of flying over here. We might just do another go on the circuit. We'll see. So I'll probably just do a go around just to see how she handles on that, and then do a proper landing. So let's just turn here. We're just going over West Melbury. We have to avoid Compton Abbas. Don't want to overfly Compton Abbas. They get angry, the residents. So as well, we haven't actually put the flaps up because I'm just quite slow in this circuit. But we could have probably gained a little bit more speed if we had those flaps up. So we're just approaching end of here. Just not doing a perfect circuit, but it's fine. We're a bit too high as well to land right now, so I'm not sure we're going to be achieve a go around, but we'll just kind of go around it, I guess, is the point. So let's do a left turn here. We might be able to. I don't have a track IR right now, so like I'm not like perfectly aligned, but yeah. So yeah, we're just coming up now to runway 08 Compton Abbas. You can pretty much just idle. She's slowing down very slow. That's kind of realistic-ish for 182. So the flight model feels good. But let's just touch it down. We're going to come in very slightly. Let's give her a little bit of throttle as we come in. Let's see, a very smooth touchdown. There we go. And then full throttle. Generally that feels quite good. And we're back up. So yeah, not bad at all. Let's take her around one more time on the circuit. Very easy aircraft to fly. So like if you're relatively new to aircraft, I guess that's the point of the trainers, but this does actually feel quite good to fly, you know, to learn stuff, which I think is quite good, because there's not loads of aircraft you can use to do like training on Microsoft Flight Simulator, but this feels like it has a bit of personality as well. Like a lot of aircraft with the glass cockpits and stuff, you know, like they're easy to fly. Like the DA-42 by Cowles is amazing, but maybe, you know, you want something a little bit more analog, and you don't want something as in depth as that. I think this is quite good for that. I would recommend it on that basis. I'm gonna just put the flaps up now just to see how she handles with the flaps fully up. And we probably just gain a bit too much speed now, but let's do quite a sharp bank here just to keep within the pattern. But yeah, generally this feels quite good. This feels good. So we're pretty much at pattern altitude, just a little bit under it. But yeah, she feels good. The trim feels good. I think it's quite a nice aircraft, really. I mean, it's probably one that I would fly, you know, for sightseeing maybe. Just sometimes you don't want like all the stress of like a big aircraft. This is quite perfect for that, I'd say. And it is one of the first 2024 aircraft which is in the sim. You know, like fully supported. I know it's technically a port from FSX, but yeah, she's quite nice. We're gonna have to start decreasing altitude now because we're gonna try and come back and land. But yeah, like, would I recommend this? I think I would. Carenado have another aircraft coming out soon as well, which I'll try and review. But yeah, I mean, it depends what you want this for. If you want like a super in-depth realism, go for like the A2A Comanche. It's definitely not at that level. But if you just want a nice sounding aircraft which has got good visuals, I'd struggle not to recommend this. I think it's pretty good, and I think you'll have a lot of enjoyment on that basis from it. So yeah, I think it's good for that. Yeah, like it's hard, like I say, not to recommend it based on that, but obviously it is priced maybe a little bit higher than it should be for the actual kind of type of aircraft it is. But generally speaking, like, I think it's got a good sound, it's got good visuals. As long as you don't expect too much from it. I mean, the flight model is actually really good. I'd actually say, I think because it's using like the fluid dynamic stuff, or it feels like it is, I would say, yeah, it feels like a nice plane to fly, even more so than maybe some of the more like premium in-depth aircraft, probably because it's using that. So like it's generally quite nice in that way. Obviously, I wish it would have a little bit more SIP and depth. I wish the circuit breakers would work. I feel like that would take them like not that long to implement, but I don't know. You know, maybe it's more complicated than I'm making out. But yeah, I mean, we're just turning here on to final, and then we'll land her down again. Okay, as you can see, I'm a bit too low and a bit too much to the right. That is the disadvantage of not having a track IR, right? You can't easily see that like you would be able to in real life, but we'll still be able to get her onto the final, even though we are slightly low. So let's bring her back down a little bit on the fast side. We'll try and bleed off some of that speed here onto final and try and touch down somewhere in the middle. So as we come down here, very neat touchdown. We just apply a tiny bit of braking as we come to stop. There we go. So yeah, very nice kind of touchdown as well. And we'll just taxi her off to the right. Oh, a little bit more braking to get around there. Now we can switch those landing lights off. We can bring her back up. So yeah, all in all, pretty nice. My initial impressions were good. I think maybe it's a little bit on the expensive side for what it is, but I kind of like it. I think it's got a little charm. Like, you know, it's kind of old and it's quite a nice Cessna. It's definitely better than the default Cessna, the default sober Cessna, in my opinion. So yeah, I think it's quite a nice visual model, and I think it's got a nice sound, but it's not got a lot of system depth. If this had great system depth, it would be one of the better GA aircraft in the sim. But yeah, I would recommend this as its current state. So let's switch off the magnetos, pull the fuel out so we don't flood the engine, and yeah, here we are back in Carenado. So we'll switch them off, switch all of these off. Oh, that was already on. And then we will exit. So let's have a look again at the aircraft, and there she is, back in there. I like in 2024 you hear like the clicking of the engine. That's nice. But yeah, there we go. There's the Carenado 182 Quebec, and I would recommend this for the price. I would recommend it. I think it's pretty good. Thanks for watching.